It's like one of my favorite movies of all time, bro. Like, get ready.
Oh shit!
Get ready.
Time.
Get ready for a perfect score. All right?
Spooky time. All right,
It's a
guys.
tale as old as time. Good evening.
It's like this is like the spooky version of Beauty and the Beast.
You know, that's a pretty good thing.
You know what?
That's a pretty good interpretation of it.
All right, here we go, guys. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the Fright Cap.
Welcome back, guys.
How's everybody doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. I'm reviewing one of my favorite movies, so I'm ready.
Yeah, we chose. I think we chose one we all kind of agreed on this week. Bram Stoker's Dracula, keeping it with the Fright Cap for October.
Yeah, man.
Nope.
But before we get into the movie, what's everybody sipping on tonight?
I'm sipping on blood.
Whoa!
Whoa. Otherwise known as mango truly. Blood.
Boy, was that a letdown?
Right? You know they got a blood orange brand too,
I
right?
know. You should have some like V8 or something.
I drank the blood orange last week. Blood.
Yeah. Need some diversity.
Rich, what do you got? What are you sipping
I'm
on?
drinking H2O.
All right.
Some
Hi.
holy water.
Was it blessed by a priest?
Oh, I don't know why I'm doing the cross. That's gonna burn me. All right.
Yeah.
I don't
Here
either.
you go. You want your cross? Here's your
Go,
cross.
ah! All right, let's get this. Let's get
Everybody
it
don't
going.
agree. I'm just gonna hold this up.
All right. Well, I'm drinking.
Yeah,
some,
he's got the holy vape too. Watch out.
Oh, take it easy. All right. I'm drinking a little Manta Ray Ballast Point tonight.
Oh, okay.
Very hoppy. All right. Keeps away vampires.
That's like garlic to me right now.
Hops.
true. That's true. Very
Ugh,
true.
hops. Ugh.
The blood is tainted. It's
So bitter. But let's talk about this movie, this 1992 movie, which, man, I didn't realize this movie was that old.
I've crossed oceans of time to watch this movie.
Right? And man, a lot of actors in this movie too. I mean, it's really a throwback. But you know, let me read the synopsis real quick and we'll just dive into the review. All right. So Bram Stoker's Dracula is a 1992 gothic horror film directed and produced by Francis Ford Coppola. Based off the 1897 novel Dracula by Bram Stoker. It stars Gary Oldman as Count Dracula, Winona Ryder as Mina Harker, Anthony Hopkins as Van Helsing, Keanu Reeves as Jonathan Harker. The movie, like I said, came out in 1992, had a budget of $40 million and a box office of $215 million.
Nice.
Yeah,
For that time
well.
frame. Yeah.
1992.
I'm trying to remember when I first seen this film. I think a friend let me borrow it like on VHS or something.
VHS.
I was like in junior high or high school. I can't really remember, but I remember even seeing it then and I was just like, what is this? I don't even know what my expectation level were. I don't think I even had one, but I was like, man, this is intense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's based off the novel and it feels like the scale of it, you know, it's like this giant theatrical thing, but talking about the plot, I don't want to get gushing too much here, but I really like it. I mean, you can see it starts off with the backstory, this kind of lore of the Vlad's character Dracula, right? How he becomes this kind of cursed creature. Then we follow, him in through time into the not present day, but whenever the story was
hundreds
written.
of years after.
Yeah, and then we meet all these other characters. There's kind of a love story going on. There's all this kind of stuff going on. You got the eccentric Dr. Van Helsing and everything. I mean, there's a lot packed in here. What do you guys? What were your thoughts overall of the story itself?
Here's the thing. Let's get this on the right foot here. 10 out of 10 for the plot. All right. It's
okay.
Yeah, I'm ready, babe.
Right.
It's a classic tale. Vlad the Impaler, Dracula, like you said, like they threw in Van Helsing in there, threw in like pretty much a lot of the vampire lore that started everything. It was from this. So yeah, man, it's a classic. It's 10 out of 10 for me, guys.
How about you, Rich?
Plot solid. I mean, and when you have Anthony Hopkins doing the narration and the intro, telling the background story, man, freaking awesome. Pulls you into the movie, sets the mood, gets the plot going right off the bat, and then gets a little artsy with the battle scene and all shadows and fighting. It just, it draws you in, and the plot just never lets you go. It just keeps going for the ride. Once you're starting, you're like, all right, seatbelts on. This is what I'm doing.
One little gripe about that whole Anthony Hopkins things. like I never understood why he had to be the priest in the beginning. Also, like
he makes
it
that little
always kind
cameo.
of.
I was gonna
I was just
touch on
like,
that.
is he Van Helsing or like I don't know. That's my only little gripe about this movie,
Yeah, I
but
thought that was
not
interesting
much
too.
else.
Yeah, but there's just a lot going on, like you said, Rich. I mean, there's like consistently throughout the movie. I mean, it's dramatic, but there's always something going on. There's always something changing. It's always moving. I remember thinking, even like when I first watched the movie, like halfway through the movie, you're like already like, man, there's already so much happening. Like what, and it still goes on for a full on like third act, and you're like, you know, there's a lot going on here. I mean, it's not a dull movie by any means, even though considering it's, I don't know. I didn't read the book, so I will plead ignorance to that. But maybe that's why they had to compact so much into this, 2 hour plus movie. But there's always constantly something going on, so you never feel bored. And there's just so much. There's you got vampires, you got werewolves. You know what I mean? You got all this kind of crazy stuff. Yeah, it's gnarly. But yeah, I give it a 9. Total plot. I mean, there's not too much more you can ask for here, and it's inspired so much.
Yeah, they packed in a lot, but by no means was it ever confusing or anything like that. It was always just chugging forward.
Well, and nowhere any part of the movie did it feel rushed either.
Yeah,
like this was just rushed in to move the plot to the next point. It just moves so fluid. It was a great storytelling.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a great point too. Like you said, it never felt rushed, and it just moved at this really great pace. But talking about the intro and kind of segueing into the production, what do you think about his armor? That weird suit of armor that he had on. I mean, that was really different. It was cool, but it was just different, right?
It looked like the muscle fibers and all that. Like I put like the armor was one of my things because you want to keep the ball rolling on here. Production 20 out of 20. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I can't argue with you. I mean, there's like giant sets here. There's so much color. Even the camera work for that period of time. The scenes where you could tell where Lucy at the very end when she comes out of the coffin and they put her back in, like you can tell it was shot in reverse, right? So it looks all weird, and she's like crawling back. It's like there's just so many little things that they did. The scenes where he's roaming around London at night, you can't see him, you can just see the kind of his stalking. A lot of cool little effects that they did.
I love every aspect of the production here. You mentioned the sets. I love that they use sets and not actual like locales, because I told you guys this in the beginning too, like when we off the air. This felt like an old school Universal Studios monster movie, like Dracula, like Frankenstein, Creature from the Black Lagoon. It felt classic like that. I love the wardrobes, the costumes, like the soundtrack, just the makeup. Can we talk about the makeup? Like for 1992, the werewolf makeup, especially the bat makeup towards the end of the movie when he was transforming into the bat. That looked really, really good. Even like when he was old Dracula, when we first got introduced to him, like towards the beginning of the movie, that one was really good too. Nothing looked cheesy or like really fake, if you want to say.
The giant bat was impressive. I mean, especially from 1992, like you're saying, it's an older movie. When I saw that just recently, I was like, God, they did that really well.
Yeah,
really, really done well. Like.
It won. I'm actually looking right now. It actually did win Best Costume Design, Best Sound Effects, and Best Makeup, and got nominated for Best Art Direction. Which
there you go.
I do have to disagree with you guys on one thing. I did not like that armor.
Really?
I didn't like it. It looked like a giant bunny to me. Especially when they did the whole shadow scene. I was like, oh look, a bunny rabbit. He's fighting. No, I don't know. It looked it just did not look. It just.
I wholeheartedly disagree with that. I just about that statement.
I'll fight you on that.
The armor did not look good.
Oh, I thought it was cool. I thought it was creative because it just shows the creativity of the movie.
It did, definitely, and for sure.
I really liked the way they did him in the castle when Keanu Reeves' character first goes to the castle and you see the old version of him. He's all decrepit and stuff. There's just so many things, and there's so many different versions of him in the movie.
You got the old version. Was a cool shot. We're talking about, I want to bring it back to that scene where they're in the castle. That bird's eye view when they're walking, and he has that big long red cape.
Long cloak. Like I'm telling you, the wardrobe was cool, just excellent.
Yeah.
It really is. There's really so many cool little things that he did just to create this kind of weird, like decrepit, vapid creature. And I don't want to get into the performances, but he just plays such a great role in it. And like I said, there's so many versions of him, right? There's like the werewolf version of him. There's the vampire version. There's this weird like demon bat guy at the end. There's like, you just see it, but it all feels done well. None of them are like, distracting. You're like, oh, okay, there's the makeup or anything, and it's just great. I mean, I could gush about this too. Let me see, score wise, what did I end up giving it? For production, give it 19. So there you go. I think it might be the highest production.
What did you give it, Rich?
I gave it an 18.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's right up there. It was close. I mean, what brought it down for me was the suit. I didn't like it.
Whatever.
Other than that, cool. But
well, let's not get sidetracked. Let's get into the performances here. I'll take it away. In terms of the performances, what really stick out to you?
Gary Oldman, obviously. And that's what stood out in a good way was Gary Oldman. He killed it in every, like you said, he had so many interpretations of Dracula, Vlad, throughout the whole movie, and he did a great job in all those interpretations. So, and then I like Anthony Hopkins. I like how he hammed it up as Van Helsing.
Yeah.
Like he really
so eccentric.
Yeah,
he was a crazy old doctor. He didn't.
Yeah,
like we didn't get the Hugh Jackman like I'm a superhero. Van Helsing.
No,
he's like, no, I'm the crazy old. And think about it too. Nowadays, if someone is like, oh, what are you? Oh, I'm a demonologist. Like they're going to be a kind of a kooky person, And he embraced that and just went with it.
Yeah, calling everybody devil's concubines. All right, and and now, God, and I hate to mention this because I like Keanu. He's like one of the best human beings on the planet. All right, guys, can I get that out the way? But this is the reason why I gave I still gave the acting 26 out of 30, but that -4 was for his accent. So
you didn't believe that he was a young Englishman?
I mean, his accent was like a comedian doing an English accent to make fun of English accents. Like it sounded like not just a black comedian doing it sounded like Dave Chappelle doing an English accent to make fun of English accents. Like, when he was just like,
say it was wooden is an understatement. It was bad. It was bad.
Chased by bloody wolves through a blue inferno. I'm like, oh God, no, Keanu, please. No, don't do it, please.
Here's the thing. That was the finest take that they had too, because he probably did like 20 times. And like that's I guess that's as good as it's gonna get. Like, go ahead.
Gary Oldman was like, how about I just say it?
Cut it in this scene and this and piece it together.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, Gary Oldman was like, let me say it and then you could just dub over it. Like,
yeah, I know, right?
But I still like Keanu's still one of the best people out there. All right.
Yeah.
So shout out to Keanu.
Rich, what performances stood out to you in this one?
Like you said, Anthony Hopkins. I mean, honestly, even Winona Ryder, she killed it too. Like for her part, she did it great, especially when she's kind of remembering who she was, her past life again, and you can see her personality kind of shift and being like, well, fuck Keanu, I'm gonna go with
Well, because one, young London Dracula, as the kid would say, he had a lot of drip. He had a lot of swagger.
Incredibly so. Where did he get those blue shades?
Glasses?
Look, he had the top hat, the suit, the cane, the purple glasses. He was literally Prince. Right? He was literally Prince. And
he was Gothic Prince. Is what he was.
Dude, and then like Nina was crying. He caught the tears, it turned into diamonds. He was literally Prince.
He was her sweet prince. I mean, she called it. She said it.
Yeah, she did. She was living that double life.
Oh man, there was just so much here. You're right though, but you're right because as much as Gary Oldman's performance is like a juggernaut in this, Winona Ryder, she held her own. Like you didn't feel it. She was going like toe to toe emotionally with them and everything.
Yeah.
You had the three guys, Quincy and then the doctor and the other guy. Those guys are kind of throwaway dudes,
They're right there with Keanu.
I hate that the only American was the American was the only one that died in here. Like,
the Texan. Hey, but he died with honor though, because he was out there fighting gypsies and vampires.
Dude, he got stabbed in the back with a gypsy.
I gotta bring something up. Why is it that in London, every American is a cowboy?
Back then he was from Texas. Of course, he was going to be a cowboy.
Yeah,
it was like the turn of the century.
Oh, I know. No, I'm just saying that part is always a Texan from it's not someone from he's from Boston.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
I will say shout out though to Monica Bellucci as one of the Dracula because
This was prime. This was prime Monica Bellucci. Here's the thing: if I was Harker, and I was like, "Hey, babe, Mina, I'm staying. All right, like
staying there. Yeah,
I'm just staying here. Like these brides of Dracula could literally suck the life out of me. I'll be fine." Right?
Yeah, well, that's pretty much what they did. So
yeah. Like,
what was her friend's name? The redhead,
Lucy.
Man, props to Lucy for really taking one for the team out there.
Well, she took it from a werewolf.
Taking it from a werewolf. I mean, geez.
She really took one for the team.
I heard that her performance actually inspired Leo's performance with that bear. The one
Leo didn't get raped by a bear. Remember?
That didn't happen?
Let's get back on track, guys.
Okay, all right. Well, anyways, acting wise, grade, I give it a 26. So I matched you out right now. I'm kind of lock and secret here, gushing over this movie. Rich, bring us down a little bit. I know you are. What'd you give it?
Well, were we on acting? I give it a 24.
There you go. See, I told you.
I got to bring you guys down. You guys have to.
Yeah,
come on, dude.
It was Keanu. It brought it down for me. And the Texan.
What's your beef with the Texan, dude? Like he had the big Bowie knife.
He had a Bowie and a Winchester.
It was just his acting was just a little too stereotypical for me. That's all.
Well, back then they were supposed.
No, I just didn't like it. Okay, I got my opinions. Doesn't even make sense. Just I gave it a 24 because of those two reasons: Keanu and the Texan.
I don't know why Rich hates this movie.
I know
why. That's my X factor. We're getting that.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's get into the directing with the acclaimed Francis Ford Coppola. And we were talking right before we started. I was like, I actually forgot, or I don't remember that he actually directed this movie. I didn't realize it's such a big name, but he does a great job. I mean, we were talking about it during the plot. I mean, there is a lot going on here in this story, and it moves nicely throughout. If I had one gripe, minor, it would just be that the pacing overall, it wasn't that it was slow, quite the opposite. I feel like it was so consistent with things kind of happening towards the end a little bit. It felt a little much. It started to feel like almost, I don't know if drag is the right word, but it started to feel repetitive. And you're like, kind of like, Jesus, like, all right, let's just kill this thing already. You know what I mean? Because there'd been so much up to that point. But other than that, I mean, the way that they did it, everything, he makes you sympathetic for the devil basically at the end, which is kind of brilliant. I
know they let him kind of win. Oh, we're done here. Let's go.
Yeah. And while you see him, and at the end too, Oldman, like, or Dracula's character, he gets like his redemption there on the altar, and I thought that was great. I mean, this movie has a beginning, a middle, and a strong resolution at the end. So he did a really great job. Overall score wise, let me see what I gave it. I gave it 28. So
same buddy. I gave it a 28 also.
There we go.
That's kind of funny. I gave it a 28 as well.
Yeah. Okay. It's a big old circle jerk right now, right?
it was a great movie. I mean, for all the reasons you kind of touched on.
Yeah. Like the directing, like I like the overall look of the whole movie that he gave. It was a classic. It was a classic movie, like you said. Beginning, middle, end. There was no like little twists or turns or anything like that. It was just like I like the old school like cut fadeaway scenes, like the blackout scenes. I like that. The first meeting of Dracula when he was still old Dracula, like I love the way that was shot. I loved all the like the long shadows and all that good stuff. And and then I like how you mentioned that, like his whole redemption story and all that, because here's the thing, Dracula wasn't the bad guy, guys. Van Helsing was the bad guy. All right.
What?
Dude, because look, here's the thing.
He was just a quack.
Here's the thing. Dracula, all he wanted to do was get his girl. He crossed oceans of time. All right. And that's all he wanted. Like, I'm going to get my girl. I'm going to take her back to Transylvania. Leave me alone. But no, these cock blockers, these simps, all right, were like trying to like, nah, we're going to kill you for wanting to get the girl that you love.
Oh, dude, if it wasn't for Van Helsing, they would have been like lost puppies.
With their friend. I mean, if his whole point was to go cross oceans of time to get her,
here's the thing.
Everyone, he had a plan B.
Yeah, here's the thing. Dracula cucked all of them.
Just in case.
All right? Dracula cucked all these simps. All right.
That's why they were so pissed at the end. They all showed up to defend her honor, even if she was, even
though she was.
I like the part where Van Helsing tells him, he's like, "Hey, Jack, I'm sorry. I know how much you cared for Lucy." He's like, "By the way, can you give me some knives? I want to cut off her head and stick a stake through her heart."
He's like, no, I'm not going to do anything. It's just going to cut off her head and put a stick through her heart.
He's like, well, what did I say? What did I say?
I mean, I liked Anthony Hopkins. You know, back to Anthony Hopkins. You know what kind of tripped me out watching? I'm totally sidetracked. Does that guy age? Is he Dracula? Because
he feels like he's been that age forever, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I've never seen him young.
That's true.
No, he's been that all the way up to his Odin character.
Maybe
he looks exactly the same.
He is Dracula. He might.
That's a great point. I don't know. Maybe he sleeps in like old crates full of dirt. I don't know.
Maybe that's my X factor right there.
I don't know. Maybe we should round up a posse and hunt him down and chop his head off. He's a devil's concubine, guys. All right.
He only shoots his scenes at night.
Well, I mean, we're all gushing over this movie so far, except for Rich, who hates it for some reason. X Factor, Al, I even have to ask Al, what would you give it?
I'm gonna end this on a high note. 10 out of 10. All right. And what was my reasoning? Because it's one of my favorites.
Shocker.
Yeah.
We're back in the 10 zone.
I'm back.
Rich, what do you got?
I gave it a 6. Yeah.
Rough crowd, guys. Rough crowd.
Great movie. Good.
You want to add to that? Why you did that?
No, it was just a great movie. Anthony Hopkins. I mean, it's nothing crazy 10. It was a great story from beginning to end. Moved great, but it's nothing stood out to me as far as like, yeah, Bazam. This is a great X. So,
all right. Well, you know what? A Lifetime, I'll make an edit because I actually originally gave this. Let me see. I gave it a 6 as well, but I'm bumping it up. I'm giving this an 8.
Good for you.
And that'll bring my total score over to 90 for this movie.
Oh,
I thought this was a solid movie. Just overall solid movie. Even as old as it is, I mean, it's still held up very well.
Absolutely.
Great.
I enjoyed watching this one. Of all the movies we've done, 20 Days Later, I'm a pretty big fan of that one too. But this was definitely fun to watch. I enjoyed watching this one. So what did you guys give it as your overall scores?
My overall 94 out of 100.
94.
The highest score I've given by far for any movie that we've done.
I gave it an 86.
Boo!
Rich really hated this movie.
One of my fangs almost fell out. Hold on.
I mean, it's hard to take seriously when you see that bunny rabbit armor in the beginning from then on.
Why are you
bunny rabbit armor? Give me a break. What kind of rabbits you see?
Yeah, what kind of rabbits do you have, bud?
Skinning them alive?
You've never seen Monty Python?
I don't remember that. I don't know. All right.
Well, for the Holy Grail. Oh man.
Well, before Rich puts a sourdough on this one, I think we all at least enjoyed it. It was a great movie. Great movie for Fright Cap in our whole October horror theme movie.
Yeah, I like this one.
It was cool. And outside of Keanu's wooden acting in this one, it probably would have a perfect score for me too. So,
good night, everybody.
All right, guys. Well, from the Nightcap, Oceans.
Have a good night, guys. See you next time. Whoa. Oh, my fang fell out.
It worked. Did you see that? My fang fell out. I held up the cross and your tooth fell out. I saved you.
All right.